the Jax versus Renekton, if you really know the matchup as a Jax, chances are you will really be getting the advantages that you need, come mid-game, come early game. And G2 Blacklist has one thing in mind. Carl is known for his very good laning phase, right? And now being allowed to show his potential on the Renekton will be the key here. We have to remember that Carl was the one who played during the Cerberus Esports series, so it's not a surprise substitution whatsoever.
Yeah, it definitely is not. G2 Blacklist have been switching up Carl, have been switching out Ime quite consistently as well over the past few months, back in the regular stages that we've had, so this is not a big surprise. But coming into the bans here, Jax and Shen removed for G2B, and Lee Sin and Kha'Zix has to be the answer here by KT.RY.
Lots of targets against KD once again. And we've seen this movie before. They're going for the Yone for KD. Gives him the flexibility to be that late game carry every time that we see KD on the Yone. Lots of good things happen to the side of G2 Blacklist. And with the support available from the Galio, he can really go for those long-range engages. Oh wow, KT.RY going for a curveball here. I'm really guessing that this is going to be the Gwen for Rattel, and it will be the Camille going over to Daw in the jungle. So this is the flexibility that KT.RY has in their draft, trying to outmaneuver G2 Blacklist during the drafting phase.
Yeah, and there's not a single shred of that Rattel will be the one using Gwen on. Once again, we have emphasized this. This is the trump card that we have seen come forth into the ban lane for KT.RY every single time. But as you have mentioned, G2 Blacklist, this is a movie series that we have watched, with the main character being KD with a Yone. So expectations are set that KD will be something that we have to look at coming into this game.
And the expectations are met here. Infinity will be Rattel playing the Gwen against the Renekton. You can really poke down the Renekton, right? But it still is a very skills-heavy matchup. It's not always an auto win for the Gwen, but the longer the game goes, of course, for sure, if the Gwen goes unchecked, he's definitely going to be one of the threats come team fights. Not to mention that the Shroud really allows for her to deal massive impact when it comes to team fighting, especially against the double marksman composition, right? And that's where Gwen really showcases herself as an elite pick. Not to mention it's Rattel piloting Gwen. Do you have the win rate of Rattel on this pickup? Surely it's about 70%, right?
I don't have it like immediately on me, but 100%, it's above 80%. There's no doubt that Rattel having the Gwen in his hands, has lost a lot of times. Yeah,
it's pretty much one of the reasons why we think Rattel is pretty much the cornerstone for KT.RY ever since the team was brought into the Wild Rift competitive. Every time we scout and we try to study KT.RY, we have one person in mind, and it's always Rattel. Now for KT.RY, it's pretty much going to be a very slow start, but Luna is going to use the Xayah in the mid lane, not the normal mid laner we often see, at least in our ranked games. But now in competitive, it's being used here by Luna.
Yeah, and I think it makes a lot more sense as well, given how the draft is for G2 Blacklist, right? They brought in the Lucian, they brought in the Ezreal. If you put in Iran
solo.
If they brought in the Ezreal coming into the mid lane, into the bottom lane up against Xayah, it's going to be Ezreal who has that advantage just because of the pokes.
This mid lane has been so heated, right? Aaron and Luna really wants to show who's the boss in the mid lane, and that was a very scary skirmish for both sides, right? Both of them went away with 1 HP. I believe the summoner's advantage was on the side still of Luna, just showing that, at least now on the Xayah, it's a lot easier than compared to the Ezreal versus Lucian that we saw from game number 1.
Yeah. It is. How G2 Blacklist consistently does this. Aaron does a 50-50 of those massive engages, but
Right, I know.
on his head, it's not a 50-50. It's like a 80-20, 70-30 type of thing.
Oh, draw.
Flashes, goes in with a shield of Durant, follows up with a CC. Aaron just follows up with a damage. G2 Blacklist secures the first blood.
This is the beauty of G2 Blacklist's rotations in the early stages. They recognize the fact that there is no flash available for Luna, and immediately there to capitalize is draw on the Galio. On the top side, you look at Carl. He's just trying to control the lane. He knows that his jungler is just beside him if he's ever needed. Let's look at that replay once again. Draw was spotted on a ward, but did not get respected here by Luna.
Yeah, he did not even have to use the Justice Punch for the knockup. He just used it for that distance closer. It was just too good. And I'm telling you, Draw is a silent killer. He may not have the most lights into what the showcases every single time at the MVP titles, but he does so much for the team.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right? Like he's also the team captain of G2 Blacklist.
Yeah.
So when it comes to how effective G2 Blacklist has been, it's centered around the fact that Draw is one, their team captain, and two, their most tenured member of the team. So if he goes in, he's definitely going in hard.
Definitely is. It's been the storyline every single time, and this is just the surface level of it. But once again, G2 Blacklist going for the 3-man rotation on top side of the map, but Ritel's just too good with a Gwen.
Yeah. And Carl was not able to get at least a second slice close enough. Ratel has... Okay, Zero is here. I don't think there will be any dive. No Dominus. None whatsoever. Then just going back, Carl had the opportunity to go for the dice and connect it over to the Gwen. But Luna...
Goes in, Hextech Ultimatum onto Draw as well.
Two-shot barrage
is missed out just because of the Feather Storm. And Golden Cut in danger already, but Piercing Arrow will not be enough. And G2 Blacklist got a death of their own as KT.RY answers back.
It's a 1-for-1 kill count, and that's again, Luna just finding the right angle to get that return kill against Draw this time. And what an interaction, right? Like a true shot barrage almost hitting its mark, but again, a very well-timed Feather Storm negated the true shot barrage, showing the mechanics of Luna. But one thing is for sure, right? Like G2 Blacklist knows that there will be no Feather Storm and no flash available for Luna for any succeeding team fight in the next few minutes. So G2 Blacklist should be content in still going for a team fight regardless where it is, especially knowing that in 30 seconds the first objectives will spawn up.
Yeah, and given how their draft is, I feel like now they're going to opt to go for the Drake, right? On how their playstyle is coming into game number 1 as well. Fate sealed coming right through. Is the fate going to be sealed though by Luna? And that will be, yes, it will be the death of him, but Carl is already down low as Zero answers back.
It's a 1-for-1, and again, it's G2 Blacklist recognizing that there is no Feather Storm and Flash available to the marksman. But KT.RY was still able to get the response that they needed. Now, the Rift Herald is being started by KT.
And they're eyeing onto the Rift Herald. Shockingly enough, G2 Blacklist wants that early game advantage. Knocks up onto 1 with a Justice Punch. Shield of Durant to follow up. And now it will be the time for KT to follow in, as they will be able to get Rift Herald out of the hands and out of the grasp of KT.RY.
Wow.
But KT.RY wants to get their values back, but in the end, G2 Blacklist will still succeed from that fight.
It's a big team fight win early stages. G2 Blacklist just knows what to do. They went for Daw. Daw was pretty much a sitting duck, and he got targeted down by G2 Blacklist, not allowing for a 50-50 to ever happen. Let's look at that replay once again. You look at Daw. Daw was slowly getting chunked down, and that thought coming in from Draw was clutch. Even with the Hextech Ultimatum, it did not save his life. It was just an easy picking from here on out. Look at the true shot barrage connecting onto 3, and this is the power of G2B.
Yeah, the coordination was phenomenal, and that, in addition to the Rift Herald, they secure the Ice Drake for themselves, and G2 Blacklist 2 out of 2 objectives.
Yeah, and now also getting some tower plates here in the bottom lane. Still has the opportunity to get the first tower. Now Rattel is receiving a huge chunk of damage from the tower. Needs to respect that as well. And everything is going. Oh, check that. Wow, okay, what a retaliation. What a response by KT.RY. As soon as I said that G2 Blacklist is getting the start that they wanted, KT.RY went for a play of their own.
A tank is not a tank up against 2 ADCs for KT.RY. That's huge damage for the likes of Varus and Xayah. And now G2 Blacklist just has to play it a bit more safe, right? Has to play it a bit more patient. Now that they've secured 2 objectives, now they had the 1k gold lead, not as much, but they could just keep it up.
Yeah, and the 1k gold lead that we are seeing here, Infinity is on towards the side of KD. He's looking for another play.
Soul Unbound, Fate Sealed will not connect as the Feather Storm is used. KD has to go back to his body, but in the end, no trades, no values will be taken away by G2B.
An ult for an ult, and KD just going back after clearing the camps here on towards the blue quadrant. He's finally going to go for a quick rotation on the top side, but Daw is there to still be the first one to assist Rattel on the top side. Overall, you're looking at the laning phase. The top side is pretty much even between the Renekton and the Camille. The bottom lane, though, has some switcheroo happening, right? Like the marksman or the dragon laner went to the mid lane, and then we have the mid laner here being assisted by the support. Oh, Zero! He messed up his combo, surely.
Yeah, unfortunate, and that will push back Acrobat, but in the end, Rattel as well coming into the top side of the map. Carl and Katie will be successful in taking him down.
Yeah, showing themselves on the bottom lane just gave information that G2 Blacklist does have the advantage here on the top side, and there to capitalize is the combo of the Renekton and the Camille. Let's look at that replay once again. Finally, this time, Carl is not going to miss the Rootless Predator, and pretty much is an easy execution without needing the Fate Sealed. That's an easy assassination from the top side of G2 Blacklist. That's a tower taken down as well. And G2 Blacklist, again, trying to deny and delay Luna from going back.
Ooh, Sorrow as well just jumps in. But at this point, it's just both the supports being a nuisance to each other.
Yeah.
Like, delaying the recall of Luna and Zero just being annoying up against Bro.
Yeah. And Luna is trying his best to try to sustain his opponent, but he has to be careful. He's really blowing out. Okay.
Golden Kite just got deleted.
Oh, Aaron.
Now in danger, being ignited, but Draw coming into the backside as well. Shadow Durant will not connect as Luna with a Feather Storm is just on a perfect time to be able to keep him alive.
Yeah, but the Fenners did not really connect on towards Draw and Aaron, and again, it's just a pristine movement. KD is here.
Going in with a Fate Sealed. Good flash coming from Luna, but he goes back into his body and he meets three members of KT.RY that will be the dead of him. Now Aaron has to dash away, has to run away, but Draw as well. Just this punch will not be able to be successful, and KT.RY just like that got a triple kill.
That counter punch coming in from KT.RY is just so good. Rattel is here to pay a visit. Golden Kite got caught in that chain of corruption. So clean for KT.RY.
Again, Acrobat does far. He's always going back and forth. Going into the mid lane, going into the bottom lane. Always consistent into supporting his teammates to be able to gain onto this chain of corruption, deal those extra damage with a piercing arrow. It is phenomenal how chemistry is and how coordination works for both these teams, and even for KT.RY.
KD did not know that Daw was here to respond, and he used the sweeping lenses, knew that he was not spotted, but it's all about positioning yourself in the perfect opportunity. You see that was the easiest double kill of Daw in this game, and that was pretty much a needed retaliation by Daw, because he was really getting out jungled by KD, at least for the first few minutes of this game. Now the next objective has spawned up. Zero going in.
Knocks up onto one, forces out the Gargoyle Engine as well for Draw to be able to be more sustaining into that fight. And Draw will be alive, but lost so much chunk of HP.
Yeah. It's our first 5v5, and KD is starting this dragon. Carl knows that he needs to find Rattel, and he will be successful in doing so. So now KT.RY will respond with a push here in the middle lane. KD needs to be careful, trying to play with fire, and is now getting targeted by the piercing arrows.
Macro game for KT.RY though forces out G2B to go back a bit. They have to play onto the mid lane as well, of how KT.RY has pushed this lane in favor of them. Fate Sealed over the wall was surprising.
That did not hit the mark. Anyone, right? Like, and then now G2 Blacklist is getting out macroed here by KT.RY, being forced onto a corner. Acrobat free hitting on towards the second tower, and KT.RY.
Ooh, hook shot along with a flash connects onto KD. There's just no escape. Even if the hero's entrance comes through, there's no possibility of that actually saving himself. And now KT.RY has every single bit of advantage into their favor with 2 members left for G2B. Aaron is stuck onto the blue buff pit, and that will be KT.RY getting 4 kills already, with Golden Kite being the lone wolf for the Blacklist team.
And we know the 12-minute mark is the signal for the Baron to spawn up, with KT.RY enjoying a hefty advantage. KT.RY will target down this Baron.
Golden Kite though, being quite aggressive, have the HP advantage. Luna has to force out the flash as well to be able to go back into safety, but Golden Kite is poised to be able to go through as well to deny the possibility of that objective. TP's come through for KD, but the timer's too late. Rattel is still being chased. Golden Kite is putting him down into a race, into a marathon. Now Rattel is stuck between 2 people. The G2 Blacklist will not pursue for the chase.
That execution from KT.RY, super quick and clean. They knew that KD did not have the Fate Seal available, and that was an easy lockdown. Oh!
Mountain Drake now being started once again as Carl goes back to retreat. There's just so much power from RolsterY.
And this is the second dragon of the game heading over to KT.RY. It's a 1-to-1. And KT.RY still has the Baron buff to push possibly the inhibitor tower here in the mid lane. The late game scaling champions of G2 Blacklist not yet online. All those team fights in the favor of KT.RY.
Yeah, and G2 Blacklist lost another third of their own coming into the mid lane as tier 2 falls down. KT.RY is currently at a strong hold into this game. 4k gold lead already up against G2 Blacklist.
And doubling the kills as well, so to speak here. Infinity 16 kills to 8. Acrobat currently deathless, 5 kills, 3 assists. It's all about getting the advantage. Whenever they wanted a fight, it's to the advantage of KT.RY there. Execution is just so good.
X-Flash being readied up. We'll be able to have the sights onto Aaron, but with good game sense goes back into inhib turret, but that will be the cost of the tier 2 turret into the bottom lane.
Exactly. Now KT.RY, after getting the tower in the mid lane and the bot lane, just go back, spend those unspent gold. You look at the gold difference. It's at 4k already, right? 4,111 is the largest gold lead that we have. If anything, G2 Blacklist is all about scaling, right? So the longer this game goes, the better it is for them. We know their capability, especially on the Yone when it comes to late game team fighting. But it's easier said than done, especially against the KT.RY team.
Yeah, it definitely is, right? It will be proven difficult on how they're able to come back, coming into this huge deficit and coming into this adversity that meets them. Because we still have to emphasize that, you know what, they still have Xayah, they still have Varus. And Varus is pretty much not the most scaling champions of all things, but still having super strength coming into this. And now Carl is being stuck onto the X-Tech ultimatum. There's just no escape, but the Fate Seal connecting onto 2 will be able to get that knock up in. The Kali connects onto Luna as well, forcing out the flash to be able to retreat. Aaron is down low and Acrobat finishes them up. Now Zero will be able to go back to retreat, but in the end it's 2 for 1.
Yeah, Acrobat has been so good in game number 3. He's continued to impress. Got the kill onto Aaron. It was a net positive trade for KT.RY. Let's look at that replay once again, right? Carl getting spotted here. And that slice and die is being prevented by the Hextech ultimatum. The hero's entrance was there. Carl trying to dice away and then immediately flashing in to get the assassination on towards Thaw was good. But look at the retaliation. It's Acrobat. This guy is on fire. and all his skill shots attached towards the primary target. So far, 6 kills to the guy with no deaths.
Yeah, and there was just no information that Aaron could play with from that fight. He just went in for the chase, hoping to get a kill onto Luna, but unfortunately, Acrobat was just waiting over the hill. He was just saying hello, and then when he said hello, it's just over. And now Draw wants the same fate, but will be able to retreat back to the top quadrant jungle, back to his own safety, and KT.RY.
It's all about preventing them from getting vision around the Baron pit, although there is one ward that was placed here by G2 Blacklist, easily cleared by KT.RY. This is where KT.RY is at their best, right? Whenever they go for macro plays centered around the Baron pit, they can force team fights and force those pickoffs, especially knowing that they do have 2 of the best engaged tools that can lock you down, the Hextech Ultimatum or the Headbutt Pulverize coming in from Zero. Pretty much the reason why G2 Blacklist is really trying their best to have Draw face check and check the Baron pit if it's being started here by KT.RY. Now KT.RY will just be backing away.
And there's absolutely no vision. I mean, prior to the ward placed there by KT, there was just no vision. And KT.RY's control of this game is off the chart. It's too good how they turn things around from the massive gold deficit that they received coming into the early game. Now it's a 3k gold lead for them.
It's the way KT.RY controlled the mid game, and Acrobat also being so impressive so far. There will be no third dragon in the game. It will go straight into an Elder Dragon, and G2 Blacklist is ready for a team fight. 5-man strong is their play here. Now Carl needs to be careful because Zero can just get himself into the position or into a position to engage onto the members of G2B.
Yeah, and they learned how KT.RY has played this, a very macro-centric, right? And if they delay onto this bot side river, they could always get that push into the mid lane, and that forces out G2 Blacklist to really just hardcore decide onto going to the mid lane or pursuing for the objective. Yeah,
not to mention that the mid lane tower exposed right now is the inhibitor tower, right? G2 Blacklist needed to back away. This time, KT.RY will play around the Elder Dragon this time. True Shot Barrage going to be used just to check vision, and Zero is here trying to, again, go for a pick off. Now, G2 Blacklist wants this mid lane tower, which has really hindered the push of G2 Blacklist for quite some time now.
It definitely is. Now G2 Blacklist pursuing for that vision check coming from Draw into the middle of it all. KT into the mid lanes as well. But right now, G2 Blacklist still very healthy when it comes to HP, aside from Draw. Getting so much damage already coming through. Half HP left.
Yeah, finally. And Draw does have the Warmog's armor available. He will heal up, and KT is still here, 50-50 on the Elder Dragon.
And now they're playing the macro game themselves. G2 Blacklist wants to push the mid lane along and denying the objective. And KT.RY has to play this very clever and very perfect timed if ever they want the Elder Drake. Because G2 Blacklist, if they take this down, they could end the game. And now Elder Drake already down low, 1k HP. It's G2 Blacklist who lost it, and KT.RY secures the objective. And now they are forced to retreat. They have to go back because the Elder Drake could finish them up. And thus far, KT.RY will not be able to get a kill out from that. Rattel though chasing down Golden Cut with Ignite, taking him down. Rattel already on a chase, and that will slice him up.
That said, KT.RY just opened up this game in their favor. The Elder Dragon buff will definitely help them a whole lot. And when it comes to team fighting, the execution, the extra true damage is just too much for G2 Blacklist, especially knowing that Golden Kite is on the death chamber. Now this Baron is surely going to get started by KT.RY.
Yeah, and nevertheless, this is very good for G2 Blacklist because they still got the inhibitor coming into the mid lane, but this is not that good. When KT.RY engaged coming in to this fight, but they turn things around. Daw is deleted already, and now Zero and Luna as well, trying in hopes to get those kills. Draw will be traded, but a 1-for-1, and KT.RY has to retreat because now Carl is being a deficit onto Rattel, having that 1v1. Yes, Rattel will win, but the minions are still pushing down. The macro level is insane.
Yeah, it is about denying the Elder Dragon buff from KT.RY. G2 Blacklist did a very good job. They pushed down the bottom lane, trying to remove Rettel out of the equation. They took down Daw, which means that the Baron is not going to get started anytime soon by KT.RY. And you look at KT with all these items, he's going for a 1v1 against the Baron laner. Will be respective. Still, you can see the win condition is really slowly checking its marks for G2 Blacklist.
It definitely is. G2 Blacklist knows how to play value here. Chain of Corruption will not connect as well. G2 Blacklist will be safe from the grasp of Acrobat for now. But thus far, their macro games, how they brought down an inhibitor coming into the mid lane, but still having that possibility of taking down the Elder Drake a while ago, and now pushing down bottom lane as well, is too good. And now G2 Blacklist, once again, as you have mentioned, as you have emphasized, they really just have to buy time, not to allow KT.RY on getting that Baron.
And now 22 minutes in, no more Elder Dragon buff available to KT.RY. This gold lead that you're seeing, it's negligible. Almost all carries that we have in the game are full items already. Right, you look at KT, just one more item, possibly the Guardian Angel, and once a Guardian Angel is up for KT, he can make more plays for himself and for his team. And there you go, Guardian Angel already completed for KT, full item, 5.4k advantage in the jungle side.
And now knocks up, connects, Fate Sealed as well. Rettel is solo already, and Carl follows through. Numbers game advantage already in favor of G2 Blacklist. Now the Baron Nashor won't be an option for them.
Every time that we see G2 Blacklist in a late game situation with KT piloting the Yone, he's able to make plays, positive plays for the squad, and that was nothing different. KT again trying to get ahead of Acrobat. Will have enough separation, but G2 Blacklist knows that they are at the advantage, and positioning themselves for the Baron is the perfect play.
Clearing down the vision already. KT.RY has no info on what's happening onto the Baron's pit. And that will be the mid-tier enchant, giving them a little bit more information. And now Draw comes into the backside, zones away the enemy team. And now Fate Seal connects as well. The knockup is there. Culling is also used up, but not being connected onto anyone. But one is already down. Look at the Nexus being brought down by Carl. 1 HP. The back door will be successful. And Carl single-handedly brought them game 3.
G2 Blacklist recognized that Carl had the opportunity to end the game, and it's all about forcing KT.RY to fight them in a situation that they don't want to be in. G2B gets the advantage, 2-1 off